everyone, and welcome to Author to Author. Well, publisher to author now. Most of you probably knew me as Brandy the author, and then somehow along life's journey, I became Brandy the publisher. But right now, it's just author to author. If you don't know me, I am author Brandy Hunt. I have authored four personal books and two collaborations that I led and also published. So I have, and now I have a third collaboration under my belt. So I am the publisher that you want to connect with. And today we have author Tracy McCauley. Welcome, Tracy.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be with you today and just to talk about what I have, the projects that I have going on. So thank you so much again for allowing me to be here.
Absolutely. I know Tracy personally because she is actually one of my clients. As I always tell people on our very first call, we're going to really be together for life unless you just don't like me. And then you're free to go along your journey. But as an author, and now Tracy being, what are you, 2 years in? Are
Yes.
we 2 years yet?
Yes.
Yeah, knowing 2 years in, it's always the next level. There's always something else you can be doing. So you're always going to be asking me, Brandy, what do I do next? And so today we are going to be talking about Tracy's next level. But before we get to that, Tracy, tell us a little bit about you. I know who you are, but tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Yes. Hi, I am Tracy McCauley. I am just excited about life, but I have an organization called Angels with Hope, where the mission is to help women understand their value, discover their uniqueness, and learn to love themselves. I'm an author, like Brandy said earlier. I have one book called Love Thyself, and my second book, which has been published and is getting ready to be launched in next month, actually. And it's called Love You, Embrace You.
Wait. We're not talking about the new stuff yet. See,
Oh, I'm
the
sorry.
people, they're not ready. We got to break this thing on down. See, she took you from the beginning to the end, just like that. So we're not gonna tell them about the new stuff yet, but tell them about how you started your journey. So you just told them about Angels of Hope. You told them about the first book, Love Thyself, and she did whisper a little bit about the next journey, but we're gonna wait right there. But tell us how you discovered that you would be the owner, founder, and CEO of Angels with Hope and write this amazing story of triumph and overcoming called Love Thyself. How did that all come to be?
Well, I had been in an abusive relationship, and God had been working with me, and I had gotten out of the abusive relationship. Actually, I had gotten into a relationship with my husband, my true love. And at that point, it was kind of like an aha moment. I had discovered that I had actually discovered a healthy relationship. And all of a sudden, it was like, oh my God, this is what healthy love looks like. This is what healthy love feels like. And at that moment, God put it on my heart to write this book. I was working in an organization where I was actually helping women that had been in abusive relationships. And he gave me this idea of writing a book, to share my story, because I enjoyed working with the women, but I wanted to do more. I wanted to touch more women. And so he gave me this idea to write my book, gave me the title, Love Thyself, and he gave me the title of each chapter. And so from my experience of experiencing domestic violence and really wanting to work with women and letting women know that they're not created to be a punching bag. They're created to be so much more, so I put that into this book that God gave me. And that's kind of where the book came. That's how it actually got started.
Amen. And me and Tracy connected through a referral of my dear friend Ovecchio Riser. And as soon as I started reading through the story, I think I talked to her first and then read the story, but just listening to her tell me and then reading through the pages, it was like she had been through exactly what I had been through. And it's unfortunate that these stories are still being told today. So we're thinking, well, we can write our book Tell them, don't do it. Don't run into the fire. The house is on fire. Do not run in there. You're going to get burned. But it's still happening. It's still happening to this day. And you actually work for an organization. Are you allowed to say that?
I mean, yeah, I can say I
Okay.
won't say the name, but I will just say
Okay.
yes. I do work for an organization. I work as a counselor for a local organization where I have an opportunity to work with women every day and help them be able to cope with what they're experiencing. We talk about self-care all the time. We talk about just how to heal and how to process what they are experiencing. So I'm honored actually to be able to work with women and just help them, on the journey of healing.
Amen. I'm glad you used that word because that's one of my favorite words. Life is a journey. It's not here today at point A and then point B and everything's done and good and finished. That's not how this works. You have to go on the journey, but guess what you get to choose? You get to choose the destination. You don't have to stay where you are. You don't have to be who you always were. And there's people in the world like Tracy and I who have decided to become walking messages. Like literally everything we do, everything we breathe, everything we say, everything we post is the message of healing, deliverance, overcoming, self-image, all of these because again, unfortunately, women our age, I say our age, I assume you're somewhere around my age, but I could be wrong because they say don't crash. It don't.
I'm a little
So,
older, but that's okay.
so here you have younger women who may be in their 20s coming up in this same pattern, and God has ordained us, and probably women around the world, to put a stop to violence, domestic violence, specifically abuse, and not only other people abusing us, but us abusing ourselves. But because you're a counselor and I've worked in the same industry, we know by living it and by a counselor having told us, when you abuse yourself, you're all right with someone else abusing you, right? I mean, if I'm standing in front of a man and he's telling me you're ugly, you ain't never gonna be nobody. Nobody's gonna love you but me. When you walk away, those thoughts don't leave you. They have now taken what I consider taking up residence. So here you are standing in the mirror, and what do you hear? You're nobody. You're nothing. Nobody's gonna love you. So you don't even take it upon yourself to fight those thoughts, even though those thoughts were never your own. Do you remember the day that you stood in the mirror and decided, I'm not taking those thoughts for truth anymore?
Yeah, I remember just deciding, and it was an interesting thing because I had started going to a church, and it was something about that church that I had been going to church on and off for years, for Mother's Day and, Easter and those little holidays, but I didn't have a relationship with God. So I can remember starting this church, and it was the things that I was hearing about who I was. And that church is where I really started to desire to know more about God. And I, after that, it was like, okay, God, yes, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Yes, I could look in that mirror and say, I was not created to be a punching bag. I was created, in God's image. And I started to say those things, looking in that mirror and really loving the person that God created me to be. And so it just changed my life, how I viewed myself and just how I viewed the world, because I started to love me. Because so many years I didn't love myself. I thought that I was ugly. I thought that I was stupid. I thought that I was dumb. I had problems, my skin, I'd have break out during the summertime and it leaves these, marks and things like that. And I thought that I was ugly because of that. I was bullied. I was picked on when I was young. And so I had low self-esteem, but it was God. It was because of my relationship with God and making that decision to really, really love God And I'm just in all of that, learning to just really love myself. So yeah, and that's one of the regimens that I still do today. You know, I still look in that mirror and talk to myself and say, you're beautiful. You know, you're smart. You're intelligent. You are enough. That's a regimen that I'll probably be saying forever, because it works. Because I have to, if I don't love me, then nobody else is going to respect and love me. So I have to, the love starts with me. I have to love myself first, and then I show the world how to love me. Yeah.
Amen. And that is the title of the book, Love Thyself. And let's talk about God, because we both believe in God, and everybody's journey to God and oneness may be different. But I was way in Spartanburg, South Carolina. I don't know if your healing came in Anderson, but we'll say Anderson. But we in two different locations, probably 2 different years. But the same exact thing happened. The mirror, it's like I was standing in the mirror and I heard God say, "You don't love yourself." I do. He said, "No, you don't, because if you did, you wouldn't let people treat you like this." Oh, let me tell you what mirror I was in. I was in a domestic violence shelter, looking in the mirror going, "What have I done? How can I get out of here?" But I knew I didn't want to be the same person that walked in there. I needed to be different. I needed to be a different person. See, this is what people don't understand about being an author, writing a book. You're not just writing a book, you're becoming a different person. You are not, and let me back up and say, not saying this is talking about life stories, testimonials, bios, things like that, where I'm showing the world who I am and the change that you need to make to become a better version of you. Leadership books, testimonials, things like that. Guess who has to walk through those things first? It's not like me writing a book on maybe like a not saying children's books can be testimonials too, but I have one daughter. I probably would not write a book about a toddler at this point because I don't remember a toddler life. But guess what I could write a book about now? Raising a child who's not your normal average child. She has her own thought patterns. She reminds me of myself. She lives on the edge. She makes decisions that I could really write a book about the teenage years because I lived it. And that's what we have to do. We live these mirror experiences. So I'm in the mirror and I'm going, "Ooh, what have I done? You ugly. Your hair is ugly. Nobody's gonna want you after you told them you done been in a domestic violence relationship. Your own husband don't even want you. Why would anybody want you, Tracy? You're ugly. Your skin is ugly. You're not tall enough, pretty enough, big enough, short enough, fat enough, skinny enough. You're just not enough." But whose version of your life are you willing to listen to? That's what he asked me. Now, I gave you a version of life that's beautiful, but you don't want to look at that. You don't want to look at the life I've given. You want to look at the negatives. Okay, life has negatives, but so does photography. The negatives are necessary in order to make the beautiful pictures that we see. See, now we have this fast camera. You don't see the negatives. We just see selfie, beautiful. We go through our 12 filters to perfect it.
Right.
But we don't show people the ugly version of the picture that we didn't want to put up there because, oh, my nose was crooked, or my eyeshadow wasn't right, or I didn't have on eyeshadow at all. Do you know how many authors tell me I can't do live videos because my hair ain't right, or because I got a pimple on my face, or whatever, or I don't like my voice, or whatever the vanity is, and they miss the message of just show people you. Show them what you've overcome. If people are there because your hair is fancy, tell them to go follow a fashion designer. Don't follow me because of my hair. Don't follow me because of my earrings. We tried to dress up nice for y'all today. We talked about it offline. But even if I was, and we present our best because we know that's what God. Good. It won't curl right on this side, but we laughed about it because we understand that our message our hair don't matter. Our clothes don't matter.
Yeah.
What matters is the message. So I'm standing in the mirror. You thought I forgot. I'm standing in the mirror, and God said, tell me 100 things that I said about you. Forget what the people said. Forget, and I'm in a domestic violence. My family didn't even know I was there. Shame. Talk about shame. Talk about rejection. But God wouldn't let me speak any of that. So here we are, same story, different years. I don't know what year it happened to you. I believe mine was around 2010, 2011. And so I say that to say God is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. So if you're listening to this and you say, you know what, I don't feel pretty. Do you think we felt pretty? I didn't. There's some days I wake up, I'll be like, child, get your life together. But I don't say, oh, you ugly. You see the difference? So tell the audience what it was like to make the shift. Did you feel like making the shift? Did you just wake up every day like, yes, God has created me to be great, and I'm just going to go out and be great? Is that how that happened?
No, it definitely didn't happen that way. Definitely didn't happen. It was a process. It was a process that's still taking years. I always say that we are continually in a process of recovery until the day we die.
Mm-hmm.
So it took me because some mornings I didn't want to get up at all. You know, you want to stay in the bed. You get up and be
Absolutely.
like, okay, no, let's go back to bed. You know, so you have to push yourself. It was really me making the decision to be all that God wanted me to be. And so that took some time for me. It was a process. It's something that I had to do every single day, and I had to do it intentionally. I had to make myself, literally, say those positive things, those positive affirmations, like you can do it, or, you know, I am beautiful, or, you know, I am enough. I had to make myself, and I had to be intentional, and I had to find somebody to talk to. If I didn't have anybody to talk to, I had a journal that I would write those things down in a journal. Because one of the things that I do know is that we have to get those things out in some way, shape, or form. If we don't get them out, then they stay all bottled up inside, and they eat at us. So I had to be intentional. I had to, make a decision. I had to decide to be better. I had to decide to get better. I had to decide to say better about the person that, God had created me to be. So I had to do something. I couldn't just hope that it would happen. I had to take action, be proactive about, my life, about, where I wanted and what I wanted in my life. So, yeah.
This is where you should pause the video and go write down the 7 steps she just gave you. Because she just ran down in less than 1 minute all the things you need to do to put your action behind what you've been thinking you should do anyway. First thing, and I'm probably going to miss the last 2, but I think I got it. She said, be intentional. That means do this on purpose. That means that this is my mirror. Can y'all see this? This is my mirror. I ain't taking a selfie. This is my mirror. I don't go, I don't want to do this. If I'm being intentional, that means I pick up the mirror, or I go into the bathroom mirror and I go, you are chosen. You are loved. You are amazing. Now, I might not feel it the first day. It's all right. You might cry. I cried. Did you ever cry when you were saying the positive?
Yes, I was positive.
It was like, oh. Yeah. So the next thing she said was, talk to somebody. Watching these videos is great. We bring awareness to the change that is necessary. And I'm going to let Tracy tell you how you can get ready to talk to her on a regular basis. So don't forget to, let's talk about that. Talk to somebody. Journal. Not just because we're authors, we're telling you to write it down. Journaling helps it get out. You have to talk about it and write about it. And it's sometimes because I'll write something that I never spoke. Sometimes I'll speak things that I never wrote. And so those 2 things go together. When I was in a domestic violence shelter, I would often come to counseling sessions with my journal so that I could tell her what I was thinking, because it was like when I was in counseling, it was like I really don't. It was early in the morning. If you know me personally, you know that's not my peak time. And so early in the morning, I'm like, man, are we done yet? But if I brought my journal, then I could go back to say, hey, you know what? I was thinking about this. I was thinking about that. The fourth thing she said was do it on purpose, which is, again, be intentional. You said something else. Make it count for something. I feel like that's what you said.
I can't remember, but
Yes. This is why I told you pause the video and be proactive. Yes, pause the video and go back and say and write down exactly what she said. Do, and then be an action taker. There's two people in this world. There's people that's gonna watch the video and go, "Oh, they did great," and close it. But if this change is for you, if you're going, "Oh my goodness, that's me," like I abuse myself. Let's ignore the fact that you let other people abuse you. That's a whole different step. And I'm not talking about physical abuse now. I'm talking about the toxic people that you let in your life. Oh, let's talk about that. We just want to talk about the women who allow themselves to be in domestic violence relationships. But what about the women who allow themselves to be in toxic relationships? That's your sister, your mama. Oh, you didn't think I was going to say that. Your brother, your uncle, your cousins, whoever, your best friend can be toxic.
Yeah.
But if you're abusing yourself, you don't recognize if you're poison, you don't recognize poison. Mm-hmm. But once you become healed, you will recognize everything that's not giving you healing, promoting you to healing, promoting you to be better. People want you to stay stuck because they're stuck. Mm-hmm. People want you to stay stuck because you being stuck benefits them. The minute that you become unstuck, they get mad. Listen, we're gonna have to have a whole nother video because I feel like we're gonna be on the roll. But yes, so tell me about when, after you did those 7 steps that you just ran off, and listen, I'm gonna have you write them down. Tracy's gonna have to do a class just on the 7 steps. And so you did the 7 steps. You started making changes in your life. Did you lose people because you started changing your life?
I didn't really. Somebody asked me that a couple days ago, actually. I don't remember losing a whole lot of people, but now that things are changing more in my life, I'll say I can see some conversations that are not being had as often as they used to be, if that makes sense.
Well, one, you lost a husband because you were married to the domestic violence abuser, right? I want to make.
No, I was actually. I wasn't married. I wasn't married to either one of my abusive users.
So you lost them. So let's make sure that y'all understand. Yeah. They're gone. The other toxic people. Yeah. So, friends, family, did you lose anybody because you started loving yourself more than they wanted you to?
I can't remember any family or friends. I will say this though, and I just thought about this as you were saying it. I had a best friend that whenever she found out about what I was experiencing, I guess I lost her for a period of time. However, now we've reconnected, but she didn't want, the relationship because she feared for my life. And that's what she told me afterwards. So yeah, that was a best friend of mine that I told her some things that I didn't even realize I had told her about the relationship. I told her that I thought that he was going to kill me. I didn't even remember that. And so as a result of that, she walked away from our friendship. But again, we've reconnected and, we talk about things now. So that's a good thing. But that was really the only person that I can remember that I lost during that time.
How'd that make you feel? Did you feel like she had that right to protect herself?
I was disappointed, I think. I didn't understand that. I didn't really know that's I don't know. I didn't really. I think I was upset because she had walked away from me, and it hurt me. I was just devastated, really, because she was my best friend, and when she,
Right.
walked away, I mean, I understand it now that that's what she did because she was wanting to protect herself too. But at the time, I was young. I was all over the place, and I didn't understand it at the time.
And that's an unfortunate reality that, and if you're watching this, that sometimes the people you love are caught in the crossfire of someone trying to get back at you. So I'm in love with this man who's threatening to kill me. Me and my best friend hanging out at the mall. He comes and he shoots both of us. That's a unfortunate reality that my best friend, just because she's hanging with me, is now also a target. So be sure that if you're in an abusive relationship, that you don't just think about you, think about your children, your family, your friends who could also be targets just because they're connected to you. So while we're getting ready to round out, tell us about your new venture that's getting ready to go on. You have a book as well as some coaching services that you're going to get ready to offer. So tell us about that.
Yes, yes, yes. Now I can tell you about the new Love You, Embrace You journal that I'm launching on next month. Next month, I'm taking pre-orders right now. I'm so excited about this journal. I know that it's going to really change lives. It's a powerful, thought-provoking journal that's going to really help women and men possibly help you be more intentional. The journal was actually something that God gave me. Again, God gives me all of these ideas, and I am so humble. But He gave it to me last year. It's taken me, almost a year to finally move forward with it. But the journal, what it is, it's a 30-day journal that has intentional statements. Actually, the intentional statements start with I am. It has quotes on each page, and of course, it has the lines for you to be able to journal. But what it is, it's helping you be more intentional about saying those positive things about you. For instance, you have a positive quote to start out with, and then you have an I am. So you write, I am whatever it is you're feeling, whatever it is you want to be. Because what happens is sometimes you may not necessarily feel like saying something positive, but just because you don't feel like saying I am beautiful, it doesn't mean that you are not beautiful. So you're going to say a positive I am. You're going to write that positive I am. And then you're going to be able to write down your thoughts and your feelings behind that intentional statement that you wrote, or whatever else you want to write regarding that intentional statement. And so that's pretty much what the journal is. It's a 30-day journal. And if you feel like you need longer than that, then I also am offering some programs, a journey. I call it a journey, the Love You, Embrace You journey, which is part of my coaching program. And that will give you an opportunity to meet with me either one-on-one or within a group setting, so that we can work together, so that I can help you learn how to love yourself, build your self-esteem, and walk in the woman that God has created you to be. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to see God move in these programs, in this journal. So I hope you guys are excited too to get started in this Love You, Embrace You journey with me.
Amen. So she was preaching. I mean, if y'all didn't catch it, go ahead and press rewind and watch it all over again, because she has definitely dropped some nuggets for you today. And if you want to be on the journey to embracing yourself, loving yourself, just believing that you are what we used to say back in the day, the bomb.com. I don't know what these kids say these days, but if you want to walk in the fullness and the wholeness that God created you to, yes, we have trouble. Please understand that even on this side of being healed and whole, yes, you have problems, but guess what? We fight problems differently when you know who you are. it just doesn't last as long. For some reason, what used to maybe take me months to overcome takes me days, because I just need to know two things. God, why did you let it happen? Sometimes He doesn't answer that. Let me just say that. Sometimes He doesn't give us understanding, but He will give us peace that passes understanding. That's what His word promises. So the first question I ask is, God, why did you allow this to happen? Sometimes He answers. If He answers that, the second question is, now how would you like me to move forward? That's it. See, we get wrapped up in the who's and the how's. Remember, I did ask, why did you let it happen? Because it could be something He wanted to reveal within you. There was, when we were going through domestic violence, that was definitely something He revealed within us. There's some toxicity going on within you. There's some things that you don't love about yourself. There's some reasons why you're allowing people to treat you this way. So, first question, why did this happen? Second question, just how do I move forward? Stop looking back. Stop looking in the rearview mirror unless you want to write a book about it. And then I am your publisher. If you want to write a book about your life, you want to write a book about not just your life, but how you overcame, not just how you overcame, but how you actually use your pain to create a platform to show other people that they can walk in purpose, come talk to me. If you want to learn how to love yourself, embrace yourself, grow, contact Tracy. Our information should be somewhere on the screen, bottom of the screen, top of the screen, somewhere. But Tracy, let the people know verbally how they can get in contact with you. How can they connect with you on social media?
Yes, they can contact me Facebook, Tracy W. McCauley, as well as LinkedIn, Tracy W. McCauley. They can email me at angelswithhope2015 at gmail.com. So, or they can follow me on Instagram at twmccauley2010. So, yeah.
Thank you. And is there any last and final words that you would like the people to know about you, about Angels with Hope, about your books, anything that you would like them to know about all of the things that you do?
Well, I am passionate about helping women. I want to help women, be their best selves, live their best lives. Everything I do is around that, around me helping them. I also have T-shirts. I have coffee mugs. I have postcards. Anything that's going to help women, empower them, help them love themselves more. That's what I'm all about. So if you want any of those products, again, you can reach out to me. Let me know. I will be more than happy to mail them to you. But yeah, that's pretty much what I do. It's all about empowering women. So yeah, so happy that I had this opportunity to do this interview with you today, Brandy. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And we thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Tracy, for being here. Thank you, audience, for watching. If you are an author and you're like, yes, I'm ready to tell my story with Brandy, please click the link below or message me. You can inbox me. This is on Facebook or Instagram, LinkedIn, or you can email me at publish, publish00, excuse me, let me repeat, publishu00 @gmail.com. That's PUBLISH, the letter U as an umbrella, 00 @gmail.com. If you want to write a book, same email. If you want to be on the show, same email. If you are an author who wants to learn how to create a coaching program, same email. I am your publisher. I am your friend. I am everything that you need in the author world. Please don't be out there just letting your book sit on the shelf. Amen. Don't just let your book sit on the shelf. Let me help you make the change that you so desperately desired when you wrote your book. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.